It is now a painful reality that the curtain's finally closing on African Stream. But before we go, we would like to put out the full story that led us here. Contrary to the widely held belief, the attacks on us did not start with Antony Blinken's malicious and baseless accusations on 13 September 2024. Blinken's attack was merely an escalation of a well-orchestrated ploy against us that had been in the works for months. The story begins 2 years earlier, in September 2022, when we arrived on the African media scene as an unapologetic, anti-imperialist pan-African media outlet. Like any new media outlet, low numbers marked the first few months. We had less than 5,000 followers on Instagram by the time we clocked 9 months. Our coverage of often ignored or misreported African stories set us apart from the crowd, organically growing our following. We were the first English language outlet to cover and accurately report on the people-backed military takeovers in Burkina Faso, Mali, and later, Niger. This definitely helped to exponentially grow our numbers. By mid-2023, we had amassed over 1 million followers across all platforms. Between January and December 2023, about 10 million of you engaged with our content on Instagram and Facebook, an engagement rate higher than that of mainstream media outlets such as BBC Africa. This was a positive development, as it was a testament to the quality of our work, but it also put a mark on our backs. Within months, it became clear that we had ruffled the imperialists' feathers. The first attack came in June 2024, when the US-based National Broadcasting Company, NBC, accused us, without any evidence, of targeting black communities with misinformation. In an attempt to give credibility to their attack, NBC strategically assigned the sordid job to a black journalist, Makui Francis. The NBC article was primarily based on a report by an entity called Onyx Impact, which days earlier claimed African Stream was one of 6 media outlets spreading misinformation to 40 million black Americans. The NBC piece, just like the summary provided by Onyx, did not provide evidence of the supposed misinformation. The Onyx summary did not even mention us, and a year later, they have yet to publish the full report. Our request for the full copy went unanswered, which was not only unprofessional, but also raised our curiosity about who Onyx Impact is. After conducting some research into Onyx Impact, we discovered that its CEO, Esosa Osa, is a close ally of Democratic politician Stacey Abrams. Osa served as a senior advisor in Abrams' 2022 Georgia gubernatorial race and is also the former deputy executive director of Fair Fight Action, an organization founded by the Democrat politician. It became clear that our only crime was to expose the fact that Democrats are no better than the Republicans when it comes to dealing with Africans at home and abroad. Our position aligns with that of our revolutionary ancestor Malcolm X, who described the US two-party system as choosing between a wolf and a fox. No matter what, they'll both eat you. A few hours before the NBC article was published, Makui emailed us for a response to Onyx accusations. However, he only gave us a very short deadline to respond, and hours later, he moved it even closer, making it clear that he wasn't really interested in our response, but was merely ticking the right of reply box. However, he did eventually get a response from us after his article was published. Our response not only addressed the baseless allegations, but also addressed his employer and his role there. He interpreted this as an attack, ran for cover, and changed his Instagram account to private to avoid further scrutiny from us and our followers who did not take kindly to his accusations against us. The NBC's attacks were soon followed by those from their brothers in imperialism, The Voice of America, VOA. In 2 hit pieces published in late August 2024, VOA smeared African Stream as an Iran-linked propaganda outlet, whitewashing Al-Shabaab, a group we have always criticized. They claimed we were distorting the US military activities in Somalia. The hit pieces were in response to an article we had published showing how all US presidents since George W. Bush, Republican or Democrat, had rained bombs on Somalia. Just like the NBC, VOA could not provide any evidence of what precisely the distortion in our article was. To avoid a taste of what NBC's Makui got, VOA hid the name of the author of the hit pieces behind a pseudonym, but not before we had already picked it up in an earlier version of the first article. The author was Purity Mombia, a VOA Kenyan journalist who earns her bread by attacking progressive African governments and organizations. As expected, we professionally responded to the VOA article, addressing each of the ludicrous claims one by one. Less than a week after our response to the VOA, the puppet master, Blinken, finally came out to attack us directly, probably after realizing the shoddy job their cronies were doing.
RT also secretly runs the online platform African Stream across a wide range of social media platforms. Now, according to the outlet's website, African Stream is, and I quote, a pan-African digital media organization based exclusively on social media platforms, focusing on giving a voice to all Africans both at home and abroad. In reality, the only voice it gives is to Kremlin propagandists.
As had become the norm, Blinken provided no shred of evidence to support his allegations. However, this did not stop the social media giants from taking down our accounts. YouTube did so within 24 hours of Blinken's baseless accusations. Meta and TikTok quickly followed suit. Google also locked us out of our Drive and emails, resulting in the loss of over 2 years of work. As this was unfolding, another attack targeted us, this time around by the Stanford Internet Observatory. As usual, the article authored by Stanford's Shelby Grossman and David Thiel did not give any substantive evidence but merely parroted Blinken's claims. Strangely, in the analysis, Grossman and Thiel used YouTube numbers from a few days before Blinken's announcement, meaning they were aware of Blinken's plan before he made it public, a sign of a well-coordinated ploy against us. Later, Grossman took things personally and went on a rampage on X, warning people about us being Russian propagandists. We responded to her hit piece, highlighting her misunderstanding of Pan-Africanism, while she failed to see the link between Africa and the struggles of Black Americans. She later on claimed that we had unleashed our supporters to attack her. We did no such thing, despite her and Thiel publishing the personal details of some of our journalists. Coincidentally, the attacks from Blinken and other Democratic-aligned entities came just 2 months before the 2024 US elections. Someone was worried about the influence that we had among the African population in the US, a significant voting bloc for the Democrats. They knew that the easiest way to cripple us was to hit our bank accounts. It is probably the reason that even X, the only major social media platform that did not take down our account, still demonetized it, making it impossible for us to raise the necessary revenue. The accusations of being Russian agents also scared potential investors and advertisers over fear that the US may equally target them, thereby exacerbating our financial woes and consequently making it increasingly challenging to carry out our work. Ultimately, this led to the painful decision to close our beloved company where we had invested a significant amount of effort and resources over the last 3 years. While the attacks and the eventual closing of our company are heartbreaking, we walk away with our heads high. When we started this project, we were not naive. We knew that our anti-imperialist stance will set us up on a collision course with powerful forces who are eventually going to come after us. However, it was a historic mission for which we were prepared to give our all without fear or favor, and we believe we have delivered on it. May the fighting spirit of the African people live longer and keep the fire burning. We are all African Stream.